I think before she comes up, I'd like to let you know about my new EP. Yeah, the EP is finally out, and there's a song that's going on right now, Emmanuel. Please do well to go listen to the song. It's on all platforms. It's already on all platforms. You could just do well to download it and listen and get blessed by it in the name of Jesus. Amen. The doctor is here. So,
And congrats
so first of
on your
all,
EP. I,
uh, have you
I
seen
was,
it?
yeah, I saw it.
Oh, thank you.
Your
Thank
voice is
you.
great.
Oh, thank you
Congrats,
so much.
congrats.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wanted to just put that up. That's why I couldn't write you up, because I was
No,
supposed to have done it in the afternoon, but crazy, crazy. Today
great.
has been very
I
beautiful.
know.
I don't want to say the other
I'll
side.
talk
Yeah.
it in after the program. I'll go and enjoy
Okay. Oh, thank
some
you. Thank you
more.
so much. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Who is Dr. Nevan Bello? Just yeah, basically just a brief
Okay.
details about you.
Thank you, Annie.
You're
Um,
welcome.
Nevan Bello. She's from Nigeria, Kaduna
Okay.
State.
Oh,
Married
whoa.
to Mr. Moses Bello from Kogi State.
Wow,
We have
okay.
three lovely kids. And
Just like me.
oh, that's beautiful. I have two boys and a girl.
Same
And
here.
we really
Yeah.
and we reside in Aberdeen, Scotland, United Kingdom
Oh, wow.
now. So
Great.
Nevan loves music so very well.
Oh,
Like
wow. That's great.
I've been thinking maybe let's say since I was like 5 at least. I know I remember that from the
Oh,
Sunday school. And
wow.
yeah, we also used to dance. We had a dance group then, but I don't dance anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but music has always been a part of my life. And then
Wow.
besides studying, being in the medical school, I'm an
Mm.
entrepreneur. I'm a public speaker.
Whoa.
I mentor
Whoa.
young people
Ooh.
and, you know, families on relationships, addiction,
Mm.
drug abuse,
Mm.
mental health.
Wow.
And
That's a
I
whole lot.
I do a lot of things as much as God puts in my hand. So
Mm.
let's not just say it all, but we thank God. And
Wow.
I love impacting lives. I think that's the summary of everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything that
Okay.
makes anybody's life better, I like
Wow.
being in there to the
Mm.
glory of God.
Yeah, sure.
So I would like to talk about music and health, but I won't be able to do that without talking about musicians.
Okay, we're up.
So I will speak a bit about health, a bit about I always like to chew the bitters before taking the sweet dessert. So I would
Mm.
say a little some issues about the health of musicians. Then I'll
Okay.
now talk about the good side of music, if it's okay with us.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I'll just briefly run through that.
Okay.
Okay. So a comfortable place to start is just a definition of health by the World Health Organization, which states that health is a state of complete wellness, not just the absence of disease. So
Okay.
it's the complete physical, mental, and social health of an individual. And that
Okay.
tells us that it's not just the physical part of health that makes us well, or when you don't have disease or illness. It means everything about you, your social, environmental, mental
Mm.
part of your life makes up your health. And you know so like we mental health advocates will always say mental health is part of health. If you think your physical body is well and mentally you're not sound, then you are not
Mm.
sound. And
Exactly.
even the Bible supports it. Proverbs 17:22 says, a merry heart gives
Do
life
it well
to the,
like
yes,
medicine.
yes, like
Exactly.
medicine. And a broken spirit crushes the bones. So
Mm.
link the spirit and the bones, that they go
Mm-hmm.
well
Yeah,
together,
sure.
and
Sure.
everything links up well.
Mm-hmm.
So, picking up from there, we know that um, musicians would go through every other medical challenge any other human being would go through. But there are peculiar health challenges musicians can be predisposed to because of this profession and the lifestyle of a
Sure.
musician. and it's good we know. So we could take precaution, because prevention for me is always better than cure. That's why I like to speak, because
Yeah.
it's teaching time saves nine.
Mm-hmm.
So, and some musicians could have gone through some things and may not have known that it's related to the profession. And
Okay.
so I'll just mention a few. So one of the issues a musician could be faced with is what we call musculoskeletal disorders. That's something that will affect the muscles and the skeletal system. So
Oh,
things like
okay.
tendonitis, the tendons can get inflamed, maybe in any part of the muscle, maybe it could be the hand. Then you could have what we call carpal tunnel syndrome. It
Wow.
happens mostly to the fingers. You could call it in layman English trigger finger.
Okay.
So, maybe for those who use the string instruments,
Uh-huh.
yes. So even if it's not just in music,
Mm.
in some jobs that you use that a body part repetitively,
Okay.
you could
Yeah.
have a trigger finger. It could just start to move on its own at
Wow.
some point during the day, or maybe after long use, or you could have pain or stiffness in that part of the finger. So
Okay.
that's one. Yes. You could also have what we call myofascial pain. That is the muscle of the face. So if there's a lot of strain on the muscle of the face, you
Mm.
could have pain. And it could just be because of so much, use of those muscles.
Mm.
Another health issue that they could be faced with is skin disorder. Some people may not know that they'll have psoriasis or eczema, and it could even be due to some of the instruments they hold. There are some chemicals
Okay.
or things that are coated on the surface of some big instruments, maybe let's say maybe violin, or some of the instruments that they lean on directly on their skin.
Mm.
They could have some of these skin disorders without knowing. Some could even
Wow.
be predisposed to it due to the light effect so much on their face or on their
Oh.
skin. Yes. Like if you're going on tours or maybe shoots and there's so much light, some
Mm.
people may react badly to light and may have skin
Yeah.
disorder.
Sure.
I think if
Wow.
we remember um one of the legends of music, Michael Jackson, had vitiligo due to exposures to light
Really?
sometime. Yes,
Okay.
sometime early in his career. And when he started having the vitiligo, he now started to alter,
Yes.
to
Yeah.
try to
Do a
help
lot
his
of.
skin.
Mm.
Yes,
Okay.
because what it came due to light exposure.
Wow.
Another medical condition people could be predisposed to could be, respiratory tract problems. Some people could have asthma. Some people could have chronic pulmonary disease, and they could stem from those using the wind instruments. Some could
Oh.
have them, yes. And just like generally, even with voice training or singing, you could have issues with your throat or your vocal cavity. And
Cancer.
some people could even have early signs of cancer, throat cancer, without knowing. But these are things that people could get to know, that you don't need to get to those points. Once you start
Yeah.
having some signs, you could prevent them, and you could
Wow.
go for medical checks.
Okay.
Another thing could be weight problems. So we know that why I said weight problems is because some people could be on the overeating side, because you don't have time to really manage your diet, and you
Yeah.
could gain weight, which could lead to obesity, heart attacks,
Hmm.
and different health problems that musicians face a lot of that. And it's
Yes.
easy to judge, but you don't know what they go through.
Mm.
Then some go on the other side of deficiencies. They don't eat well, and they could come down
Okay.
with nutritional deficiencies, mental situations like what we call anorexia nervosa. So it's a
Wow.
mental case, it's a mental situation that makes people want to feel, I want to keep a particular body shape, and so I
Hmm.
don't eat well. So, because you want to keep a frame, you don't eat well, you're going through stress,
Hmm.
and some will even eat, and then because of guilt feeling, they go to, throw up just so that they don't have that weight on.
Wow.
And it's already a case. Then the big mental health I'll talk about stems from two aspects for musicians. And one aspect will be from the side of stress management or pain management, because you've been through a lot of rigor. You may want to take heavy painkillers,
Yes.
or you want to sleep well, and the doctors give you sleep medications. And the thing is, for pain management and for sleep management, some of these drugs have the potential of addiction. And some people get used to it and now
Yes,
get
true.
into mental illness from those pills that they've been taking. Some even self-prescribed, maybe from social drugs that they take. Then the other side of mental illness that a musician could face is the side from the psychological part of trying to keep up, maybe a musician is a human being, so let's
Of
not
course.
take them like
Yes.
super, because they will face the same pressure that any human being will feel, wanting to have followers, subscribers, fans. They face the same bullying people face online, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, the harsh words that people would say, yes. And then, maybe trying to keep up with contracts, awards, fans,
Yeah. Mm.
and financial management. So all this could predispose a musician just like any other person, and maybe with even more pressure, to mental illness. And at
Wow.
this point, I would like to encourage every musician that it's okay not to be okay, because it's at this point yes, yes,
Okay.
I always tell
I
people
like the
it's
line.
okay. It's okay
Gotta
not
be
to be
okay. You're
okay.
human. I
Yes.
mean,
When you think you want to put this face that everything is fine, many people are struggling with loneliness, depression, suicidal feelings, but they have to put a face that everything is fine, especially gospel
yes.
musicians. I'll say this because I've had to counsel a gospel musician who was at the point of committing suicide. And you can imagine
Whoa.
just coming down from the stage, inspiring people or lifting up their soul, and then you just come home and sit and you have a heavy bout of a suicidal ideation. And she
Whoa.
said she just started asking herself, how will it feel if I just take I shouldn't call the name, one of those
Mm,
insecticides that we know
mm.
people use, and just
Wow.
mix it with coke and just take it down like right now. And she said she was just going through that thought. The only thing that helped her was a phone call right there and a knock on the
Wow.
door that stopped that thought process. And when we got speaking, she said it was a progressive thought. I'm sure if nobody or God didn't send something to distract her at that time, I don't know how far she would have gone with it. And then you just
Oh
hear
my
that
God.
another gospel musician
It's
committed
gone.
suicide. And you'll be
Wow.
wondering what
What
happened. And
happened?
we thought they were all happy. So, like I said, it's okay not to be okay. It's high time we destigmatize mental health among musicians, because they're going through a lot.
A
Studies
lot.
studies have shown, there was a 2019 study in Sweden
Mm.
that showed that over 73% of independent musicians were having mental problems, and
Wow.
80% more among 18 to 25-year-old musicians. So it's a
Mm.
problem. It's a problem globally, but it's something we need to take note of. So
Okay.
away from that, what do we do to prevent when we're struggling, or when we see
Okay.
signs of stress and burnout that could lead to depression and eventually the
Yes.
other big names?
Mm.
We need to take we require rest. And if we need medical checks, please, we need to, because God gave us medicine.
Mm.
We don't need to bind medicine, because
Exactly.
it has a place that God works, and we have where faith works. So ignoring is not faith.
Mm.
So if we need to get checks, please, let's need to get checks. And where we need to rest, we need to rest. Even God rested on the Sabbath. And so we need
Mm.
to take rest. We can't keep driving our bodies and expect to run smoothly forever, like
Exactly. I
until.
always say that the
Yeah,
doctors treat, but God heals.
God
Everyone
heals.
have their place.
Good part,
Everyone
yeah.
has, yeah, their part.
So,
Yeah.
we need to take frequent rest and stops during rehearsals, so that
Okay.
the body parts get some break to recoup, like refresh,
Yes.
and then can keep going.
Okay.
So if it's the vocal cord, it takes some time to rest. If it's the muscles of the hands, the face, or the back. And come to think of it, those musicians who play instruments, or who mix the sound, or even the singers. If
Mm.
you're standing for too long or you're sitting on chairs that don't have good ergonomics, like good rest
Mm.
on your waist, on your back, on your shoulder, you could be
Yes.
predisposed to long time back pain that will become
Oh,
permanent chronic problems. So we also recommend what we call the stretching and the strengthening aerobics, which helps to put muscles back, to shape.
together.
And
Okay.
then we encourage the use of furniture that supports our body form so that for as long as you could sit, you could, have good support on
Posture.
the different parts of our skeletal system. Then for
Okay.
the ears, people could also be predisposed to hearing problems, impairment because of loud sounds. So we need
Producers.
yes. So we need even the musicians. Imagine that you're singing and then you're wearing the
Yes.
AirPods, and if the music is too loud, imagine having that over hours.
Over and over.
It
Yeah.
could it could over time affect the hearing.
Wow.
So that's that with that side. So let's go to the
Hmm.
good side of music. So
Okay.
like we had started last week, I remember someone who called in said music is good for the soul.
Yes.
And somehow I don't know how we all get to know that line because it sometimes just comes like an inspiration
Oh
to
wow.
everybody. Yeah, because the line is familiar, but I keep asking myself, where did I know this? But I knew that somewhere when I knew that music did a lot to me, it was actually food for the soul. And
Yes.
that's it. So I won't
Wow.
just stay on the philosophical side of what music is good for.
Okay.
I would dive into scientific proof that music is good for the soul,
Oh, okay.
the body, the mind and everything, the total human.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yes, I had, maybe I can't quote, references particularly now, but I've read researches over and over, many. I'll just give one instance. Music helps to improve focus and memory. So, let me say its application. It's applied in early year education, formative year training. So
Okay.
you see, for children, if you expose children to music, especially playing the grand piano, the violin, you know, the soft musics,
Mm.
it helps the brain cells to synapse properly. So when it comes to focus and attention, children who are trained with music have one of the highest rates of attention and focus.
Wow.
You know that we even are having mental health problems of what we call attention deficit hyperactivity disorder,
Yes.
ADHD, right now with a lot of children.
Wow.
And imagine placing those children in a music therapy class where they could stay. You know how a rehearsal is. It could take hours
Yes.
to be on the keyboard. It takes
Mm.
attention to even listen to yourself and put chords together. So it,
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole scope on its own.
Wow.
So if music could help children in their formative years, and apart from ADHD, children who learn musical instruments early can learn various languages and more instruments better. And it helps them
Mm.
to learn even up to abstract physics better because
Whoa.
of
That's sounds like
the
magic.
training. Yes, that's the training on the mind to be able to stay focused on something. And memory. On this memory, I read a research. I think I was pregnant with my second child then, and I was reading a research of music being played to a mother when she was just like 2 weeks pregnant. And they
Mm.
played it like once a week up to when she was like 4 weeks, 4 months pregnant, and they stopped that music. They didn't play that music again until after she had put to birth, and that child was 1 year, 4 months. And then they never played that music. Then they played the music again. The child instantly remembered and started to smile. Can you see the
Wow.
memory just from playing music
Wow.
during a pregnancy and
Wow.
after the birth of
After.
that child?
Oh my
It
God.
shows how much music can connect, with
Mm.
vibrations in the mother's womb and everything. Music, another thing is music lifts the mood and it calms nerves.
Nerve.
So
Yeah.
imagine if there's depression, music will lift the soul.
Wow.
And you know, some people used to say the happiest people on earth are supposed to be like choristers or people who
Yeah.
sing or who love music.
Musicians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're hardly sad. And for me, I would testify it's my up everything.
Yeah.
It takes me out of everything. If I need to come
Seriously.
out of everything, just need to go to my favorite playlist and be there. I remember when I
Wow.
lost my dad in the university, my only consolation was my Walkman. That time it was Walkman that we
Yeah,
had,
okay.
and it was
Yes.
all I had. I had a collection of songs, and
Hmm.
I had friends who, since we all are into music, will make a collection of consolation songs and send to me. And it was
Oh,
it was all that kept me for the month and
wow.
consoled me. You
Oh,
won't believe
oh.
one of those friends who put together some of those songs, he lost his dad not long ago during the COVID. I sent
Oh.
him the same
The
music list
same.
and he was so, I won't say broken, he was so touched. He didn't even
Oh,
realize he was the one. But I even sent him the note he sent to me with the
oh,
playlist. And he was surprised I
everything
kept it. But it showed how much I
you
treasured those songs.
treasured,
They
yes.
meant a lot to me. They healed me.
Hmm.
And it did the same after many years. And you know, music is never old.
No, no,
Music
no,
is
no, no.
never
It's
old.
never.
So another thing
Oh,
music
wow.
does is it reduces anxiety, like I said, stress. So it helps with heart health. So even
Hmm.
people that have problems with hypertension, high blood pressure,
Hmm.
music has been shown to bring down the blood pressure.
Wow.
Music, yes, music also has been used to help expression. If you find
Okay.
out in autistic therapy lately, they're
Hmm.
using music. You know, for people
Oh.
who are on the spectrum of autism and can't speak well or
Hmm.
need to have speech therapy, music has the beautiful way of there's I don't know how to explain it exactly in layman terms, but music
Hmm.
passes the blood-brain barrier that words need to get processed through. Music passes it without a stoppage.
Can you do that again? Like,
Okay, there is I won't call it blood, I wanted to say blood brain barrier because that's what we when we want to talk about medicines and drugs passing, you know, from the
yeah, okay.
somatic system, that's from the
Hmm.
to the brain.
Yes.
So but now this is an interface, like I'm now talking of psycho, let me just use a psycho space. So there is a barrier between the mind and the soul in the brain.
Oh,
So
okay.
music passes the barrier without any obstruction. Like it has
Oh my
VIP passing.
God.
But
Oh my
words,
God.
yes, words, drugs need to be processed through those barriers, like filters, before they can pass into the soul. I
Okay.
don't know if you
Okay.
understand.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so if I even try to explain it spiritually, if you have a message to give, put it in a song. You will
Wow.
find out that you started singing a song even if you didn't like the lyrics. You would start to repeat them before you hold your lips and be like, am I the one saying what I hated? Because your mind had picked it before you processed whether it was right or wrong.
Wow.
You get that simple analogy?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember then there was
Powerful.
so that
Hmm.
is why we have to be careful with the kind of songs we sing. So
Ah,
when we
said.
talk to young people, like especially when we have to talk about music, you know,
Mm.
because for teenagers especially who are
Yes.
struggling with finding a place with God and the kind of music they listen to and how important and impactful music is to our soul itself,
Mm.
not just the mind. So we always give this analogy when we speak with my husband. And
Okay.
that's because the devil himself was a music minister and he knows the power of it. So for every advocate he has speaking out there for him, they are musicians. So most
Hmm.
of them are speaking his words, and people are picking them up, acting them up, even without really realizing you're doing it.
Hmm.
It's the same way if we take the Spirit of God, allowing Him to inspire the kind of music we listen to or speak or
Hmm.
sing. You can't imagine what wonders God will work through
Wow.
His word. So, like I said, music is used for expression. So, in
Yeah.
autistic therapy, music is being used to help children to express themselves. Have you ever realized that when you see someone who is hard at speaking, or for example, someone who stutters, a stammerer, when he's singing, he doesn't stutter.
Does it? I
It's
was
so
going to ask, what's the secret behind that? I don't get it.
so you can imagine
Wow.
that's the wonderful, beautiful thing that music is is still being discovered to be used for. Music has been used for a very long time in asylums, like in mental homes, in maniac homes, like homes where they're like full-blown mad people. I've always known then that the jazz music was always used
Hmm.
for the curing of the mental insanity, and it's still being used. There's some people that when they've studied and they have enough experts in this music therapy, that's all they use in their psychotic homes, and it
Wow.
calms them down depending on the kind of music that is
Okay.
being used. So
Okay.
so over we can keep going. Music
On
is
and
even
on.
being used now for dementia patients.
Oh.
That's the medical state of forgetting, losing your
Yes.
memory.
Yes.
So you can imagine if music can be played in an old people's home or with people who have dementia, and they can remember a song they sang or that was raining maybe at their time in the 60s. It's bringing back a
Hmm.
memory. And for
Oh.
some
So it has
people,
to be a
one
song that
song,
relates with
yes.
them. Yeah.
So imagine
Okay.
if a song could be tied. I'm sure you have a song that when you listen to it, it will tie to like one memory, two, three, four, five
Yes.
memories. Yes.
Yes.
I could hear
Yes.
some sounds or some lyrics of an advert, and I can remember a particular time in my childhood. Or I remember one time of the evening when this is happening and this when this song is
Yes.
sung. And that
Yes.
shows you how music can hardly be forgotten. You find someone
Wow.
who can't speak maybe in his old age, but once it comes to a music line, you remember the whole lyrics, and it
Seriously.
will be
Yes.
so wonderful. So if
Wow.
we can go on and on, but I just decided to just bring this particular scientifically, supported evidence
Yes,
about music
yes. We and
and what
and
it
I
is.
think everyone can actually relate with
Yes.
everything you're talking about because I mean real life issues, yes, it's not one thing from afar. These are real life, everyday, day-to-day
Every day.
issues. Yes. I was gonna ask you, I didn't want to
Yes.
cut you, so just waiting for you
Yeah.
to
Thank you for giving me the time.
yes. So we had about Celine Dion, yeah?
Yes.
There was a time, I don't know if you heard about the sickness she had, I think, where she was asking everyone to pray for her. She went through, I think she had, when you made mention of the throat cancer, cancer of the
Yes.
throat or something like that. She
Yes.
had it. She had
Okay.
it. Yeah, so
I
she
knew
was
she was
praying.
ill, but I
That was
didn't
it. I even
particularly.
had it on I
Oh,
have it on my page on,
you can
I think I
imagine.
posted it there.
You can
Yes.
imagine.
She was asking for prayers. She was asking, she doesn't know what happened,
Mhm.
how it started and everything. So I was like, what could have started this thing? Is it because she's been singing over the years, like over and over and over again, or something she took, she didn't understand, or what exactly? What do you think must have caused that? I think you made mention of it, Bob. Just wanted
Yes.
to ask if you heard about it, if what you've spoken about is likely what has happened to her, or she was exposed to something.
Yeah. She's not the only one who has had throat cancer, and I'm happy she survived it. But some people didn't,
Wow.
unfortunately. And that's because for every kind of cancer, there will always be a warning sign. So for throat cancers, it could start like a regular sore throat.
Hmm.
you
Okay.
know, and you will treat and it will go off. But for anything that will show you a danger sign, it will keep occurring
Yes.
and won't be relieved with the usual
Until
medication
yes. Mm.
or rest or however. So then it will now expand to somewhere else. And so you see, that was the point of prevention or checks where I said, if you begin to see signs of anything that is unresolving, like
Mm.
we were discussing with James previously, like when you have taken the hot water lemongrass, I remember then in school when we need to sing for the Christmas carol and we need
Okay.
to take some solo part. Our
Mm-hmm.
vice principal will take us to his house. We're in the boarding school, but
Okay.
we had the VIP treatment of having tom tom with lemongrass tea, you
Wow.
know, and not having to speak for the whole of Saturday morning till evening because we're going to sing the solo. So, I know those were the kind of, things you do, or you don't take akara on Sunday morning because you're going to sing in the choir because of the
Yes.
oil.
Yes.
So I remember all those things, those precautions. But imagine you've done all that maybe after you've had a sore throat or your voice cracks. Or there's
Mm.
sometimes you would have had stress on your voice after
Yes.
maybe a week of
Not
tour or
singing.
programs and
Yes.
then you lose your voice. Imagine if the voice doesn't come back after the usual way you you
Mm.
you've been taking care of it.
Yes.
And maybe beyond the sore throat, you start having a body temperature
Mm.
and things rocket to something else, then you need to
Yes.
go for a checkup.
Okay.
And because this is your occupation, you need to let the doctor know this is what you do. Now, that's why we'll always take the history, the medical history, and find out what do
Yeah.
you do? What's your
Okay.
occupation? It's not just for statistics and demographics.
Mm.
No, it's because some things could be linked to some
To
things.
it.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That's why I
easy.
asked you if
Yeah.
it's because of the
So,
prolonged
yes,
singing. And you know she
yes.
can. She's a very
She can
good,
stretch her
um,
voice.
she can, oh
She
my
can
God.
stretch her vocal
Ooh,
cords. She's good. She's good at that. And she
man.
sustained those
She
notes
did.
on those chords. And
Yeah,
don't
she
forget,
did.
those chords are a template. For
Mm,
every sound we produce, there's a vibration somewhere on our
exactly.
throat.
Exactly.
So imagine you using and not resting. And so if something else goes wrong with the cells of the body, just like they say, and it finds a
Mm,
comfortable place in that overused area, then it
mm,
begins to grow, rebellious cells. And
okay.
they call it
Wow.
cancer.
I actually was gonna start with mine. I lost my voice for 4 years.
Wow,
Just coming
really?
back. Yes,
You
just
don't
coming
mean it.
back. In fact, I'm not 100% yet. God helped me. It's a whole long story put together, but when
I'm
it
happy.
started, just
Yeah,
like, yes, I'm even shocked. Like, every day I celebrate, I just praise God for His
yeah.
mercy because honestly didn't know how it started. The
Okay.
period when it actually started, I was going through emotional issue. That's another story altogether. Okay, so
Okay.
that could be for me like
The gateway.
uh, something, yes, the gateway to it. Probably it's been there hiding. You know how when you're going through any form of emotional torture or abuse, any form of abuse, it kind of, I did a study when it
Yeah,
happened because I was going through a lot of articles on it, why it
yeah,
happened. So they
yeah.
said that if you already have something in the body, stress, any form of stress,
Can trigger
emotional, whatever, it can trigger it
it.
and just pull it out.
Yeah,
So I felt that was
I
the
agree.
issue at the time. What honestly couldn't pinpoint
Why
exactly what happened,
it was
but
linked to
yes,
your voice.
why? Yes, why would you have to? It wasn't even acid reflux, it was silent
Yeah,
reflux.
yeah,
Silent reflux, according to findings, then is even more dangerous because silent reflux silences the voice. Acid reflux, it's here, it's hard
yeah,
connected to the,
yeah.
yeah,
To
it
the
stays here,
GI
but the silent
yeah,
reflux comes straight here
to the
and then
yeah,
locks the voice. That happened to me. I told my doctor, and they said you have to take this. I had to take a esomeprazole for a
yeah.
while. They
I
raised it
can
from 20
imagine.
milligram. to 40. I
to
took it
40.
for like 3 to 6 months. It didn't work. I had to up, they had to up the milligram for me. I had to take it for another 3 to 6 months. I was tired. Sometimes
And that
I
was,
messed it up. They had to give me a special bed for it so I can, they said I must eat before 7 because of the gas. Because
yeah.
as it goes up in effect, you know everything I'm talking about.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I don't have to tell you
just,
myself.
but
I
but this,
was
I've heard of the silent reflux, but I've not seen someone have it. I'm privileged to
It's
hear.
there.
Like,
It's there. It's so much on YouTube. In fact, when when something happens, like that's when you start doing
yeah,
findings. If it
no,
doesn't
and then
concern you, what's
meeting
your
you
business?
with a first-hand experience, it's wonderful.
It's real. Like my doctor had to tell because I think in Nigeria there's a guy called Techno. That was the first time I knew. I
Yeah.
started doing a lot of research. I don't sleep. A
Research.
lot
Oh
of
my
research.
God.
So Techno had the same issue. Me talking like this is just the grace of God.
You can
Like 2 years
imagine.
ago, you can't even hear me speak. I'll have to come to your ear and be whispering, because the doctor told me one of the ways to kill it or to dead it or to reduce it,
Yeah.
or at least not to make it to help it heal faster. One of the ways was to not talk too much. If I have to talk at all, then um, talk low, not don't make sure that it's not vibrating your
Yeah,
vocal sound.
like
I
putting
started
stress on your
I
head.
cannot take certain foods. I cannot eat more than if it's past 7, I can't try it. Then I must sleep up.
I
Like I can't
know,
sleep.
I know all this.
It's crazy. So
You
I was looking for solutions like what do I do? What do I not do? Blah 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 blah. If I talk too much, my kids would stress me out. They don't know what's happening. They don't care. It's not like
you don't care.
they're not
You don't
interested.
care.
They're not interested. They just want what they want, and that's it.
And
So
just imagine your
sometimes,
stress levels going up
oh
and
my God,
still triggering it.
yes, it was back
Because,
and forth, back and
ah,
forth.
so I would assume that over these 4 years,
Yeah,
emotionally you come to a stable place
yeah,
in your mind, maybe if
yes,
not at the end of the road where you want, but you
yes.
most likely have come to a more stable place where you could even process your thoughts. It's good you even started processing, you know, the what linked your health situation. So you see where we were talking from the beginning, the
Yeah,
mind and the body,
yes,
like
yes. It
linked
worked
together.
together.
They just work together.
We worked together, and that's
And
so
that's why
true.
Proverbs will tell us that Proverbs 14 will say we should guard our hearts because out of it flows the issues of life. Guard it diligently. And that's because what will affect your mind will eventually affect the whole body.
The whole body.
This
So
talk
true.
is for another day because I had been researching over the years about the links between emotional issues
Mm,
and physical ill health.
wow.
Well, especially for women. Let's keep it as a
Hmm.
topic for today
Okay.
because
Yes.
I found
Yes.
a lot of ulcers and cancers linked to emotional issues.
Wow.
Yes, a lot. I'll just give you one. I remember while I was still studying in school, I used to be the editor in chief for a very long time
Wow.
because I love writing. I write
Mm,
articles, poems, and creative
wow.
writing. So even in the medical school, I was in charge of the editorial. And one post I posted that week on the notice board, on the Christian notice board, was a research that was done on a cat and a dog. So
Hmm.
an ulcer was planted into the stomach of a dog, and it didn't stay. So once they plant in the ulcer, it's like a graft. It will drop off. It will
Okay.
refuse it to, stick and
Stay.
be
Okay.
engrafted into the lining of the GI of the stomach. But
Hmm.
as soon as it was planted into a cat, the ulcer began to grow. It blended into the
Whoa.
stomach and grew. And what I deduced, from that research is look at the personalities of both animals.
Mm-hmm.
A dog is easy to forgive. A dog is, why we call it the man's best friend. Its
Mm.
loyalty is because No matter what you do to a dog, he won't get offended. He'll come back to you. You know,
Wow.
he's a happy animal. And, so you see, those ulcers can grow around someone who doesn't take things heavily.
Seriously, yeah.
Then an
Wow.
ulcer growing in the stomach of a cat. Just look at how private, self-consuming a cat is. I,
Yeah.
I grew up around both pets, so I know their
Oh, okay.
personality.
That's what I was like.
A dog will always, yes, a cat will like to stay near you, but a cat is very selfish. Like,
Yeah.
he loves himself too much to be bothered with you. Like, and he will not forget you're wrong. If the dog
Really?
comes if the dog comes to play roughly with that cat, when he comes again, he will scratch. That cat will be like, don't come near me. And if you notice, the cat is more moody than the dog.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
think of those kind of moods and think of it
Wow.
like a personality we humans carry
Mm,
and what could allow those kind of things to grow. So think
mm,
of the mind and the body. It's a good lesson. I'm happy you are
mm,
sharing it firsthand and you
mm,
could help
mm,
other people to know that the mind and the body works together. Like I
together.
said, so that we don't go away from music. But
Mm,
you're a musician,
yes.
so it's health.
Oh,
And it's good
wow.
we're talking about it. And I'm happy you
Yes.
found your
Mm,
voice. I'm happy you found your voice.
thank
Because
you.
truly, anxiety and stress could show itself as asthma, could show itself as ulcers, and this acid
Yeah.
reflux. You'll be
And
so
it's true.
surprised that people will be going through an ulcer, and it won't be anything H. pylori. It will
Mm,
be a psychological problem. There are lots of
wow.
examples to say,
I
but
know.
we can't
We
say
don't
them
have all
all.
the.
But it's true.
Yes,
It's true.
yes. Wow, you're so on point with saying that music helped. And music was one of the major tools that helped me
You can
because
imagine.
I couldn't, because I couldn't, I had to listen to, like, I had to overdose myself with it. It
So you
was
couldn't
really helping at the
make
time.
music, you now
I
started
couldn't, so I had
listening
to,
to
yes,
music.
yes, I
So
had to
absorbing
listen.
it now heals you.
Yes, yes, doing that and talking when I started getting better, what I was doing because I wanted the voice to recuperate, if
Okay.
that's the right word, to like
Yeah,
come back again.
recover. Yeah.
Yes, so I was talking about my worries, just talking to family, talking. This is it. This is because I called and I was supposed to go for therapy to
Okay.
talk about it. I just felt like, you know what? Family will help me because I'm very close to my family.
That's
So
beautiful.
it
That's
helped. Yes, we keep talking and talking. Don't worry. I think it's okay. Things like that. The
But you
children,
did the therapy,
distractions,
did you know?
music. Really?
That talk therapy is therapy. And you
Really?
did it yourself.
Really?
Yes, it's
Okay.
therapy. It's one
Oh,
of the first
wow.
things we do for, even in psychology, for mental illnesses or for any kind of
Oh,
management. So the therapist you go to do, you're talking. And
yeah.
talk is therapy before we go to pharmacotherapy, like drug therapy.
Oh,
Talk therapy
wow.
first on the list.
Wow.
So,
So I'm sure that helped too because while I
yeah,
was doing that and then with the music and I was doing that with the music, I just started like everything began to fall in place and the miracle began to come, started and I was like, oh my God, what's happening? I couldn't like, okay, let me give myself some time. Maybe I'm just Johnson. Maybe it's just Mirage or something. After some time, I'm like, oh, well, thank God,
thank
oh, Lord, is
God.
this me? Yes. Hey, good. Like music is just, I mean, it's magic. It's magic. You've said a lot tonight, and I'm sure that it's just too much for me to comprehend right now. I have to go back to watch because it's in bits, but you said a lot. You talked about first about the side effects, of having to do all this, what comes. You talked about what to do when it happens, and then you talked about the good part, the um, what's the give me the word
The
now. You talked the
benefits
benefits,
of
yes,
music.
the benefit of music, and then you talked. It's a whole lot. I love this topic for tonight. It's just like, okay, I don't want to go back to last week. It's okay. We have it now. Yes. Look, because I was so hungry. I was almost frustrated last
I
week. I knew
know,
that this
I know,
is,
I
it's,
saw it, but you were able to hold it together, and thank God
yeah.
for the other guys who kept us company.
Yes. Who, well, how would it, I mean, it's just sometimes I go monologue, I just talk, I'm prepared. But last
Yeah.
week, music heals a lot. Yes. Last week, I just left myself to you. Like, okay, come. Like, finally, I have gained a lot from tonight. Thank you so much for
I've also
sharing your heart with us.
gained.
Thank you for dealing with this topic. A lot of topics emanated from it, which,
Yeah.
if God wills, we're gonna like treat
We'll build
later.
on
But
it. God
tonight
will help
is
us.
packed full. Guys, you have to share this video. Honestly, this is going to be very beneficial to everyone because any health is wealth. Health
Yeah,
is wealth, and everybody has got to put their health together. For musicians, as you talked about the string musicians, you talked about vocal musicians, you talked about a whole lot. So this is something I think we can learn from now again and again and again. You have to listen and watch this video as much as you can and then share with your friends, share to your family members. It would be really, 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 really nice. Don Feb, finally, so you didn't come, Abby. You're enjoying it from the other side. The Lord bless you. Wow. Okay, I wanted to ask a question. It just jumped to my head as I was
okay.
talking. So, for musicians, you talked about what they could do when this happens. That I think you talked about how to prevent it,
Yeah,
and what when they start seeing it, the next step to take to go for a check, to check
yeah,
themselves up and all that. We pray this doesn't happen, but this is, they say prevention is better than cure. It's always
yeah,
better to, be
yeah.
proactive. Get it now that you have it. Let's make do of it. We appreciate you so much, Pam. We thank you because if
Thank
I stay
you.
here, I'll just keep talking and talking and talking. So, thank you. Is there anything else you want to say? Do you have your social media details you might want to share with us? Dawn Feb, I'm sure you have it. She has a handle on Instagram, on Facebook, on
Yes, I'm
probably TikTok and
Nevan Bello
YouTube.
on Facebook. I'm Nevan
Okay.
Bello on Instagram. We'll be coming on YouTube soon.
Okay.
With yeah, uh,
Okay. So
2024. It's
okay.
loaded.
So
So
now,
it's a
Amen.
lot of
So for now, we're just on Facebook
and
and Instagram.
Instagram. Yes,
Okay. I think
yes,
you should be on TikTok because TikTok accept my
yes.
request. No, I'm not seeing your request now, Don't Feb.
No,
How
no.
far?
We
Don't
accept
Feb,
my
I don't understand though. You say I accept my request. Where is your request here? I think now you want to come and we have Nevan Bello. Okay, Nevan Bello, that's her name on Facebook and Instagram. Please follow her. You will have a lot to learn. Trust me, guys. There's a lot to learn. She's loaded. In fact, you have you're a musician, you're a writer, you are almost everything, if I can remember. Wow, so gifted. And then
Thank
you're a
you.
mother. How are you able to put all these things together in this area that we are in is something else. It's unlike
Well,
Africa, you know.
yes.
How are you able
Then I
to?
think God always trains us for where we're moving to. It had
Yeah.
started early with the kind of profession I'm doing, and then a
Okay.
supportive husband. So,
Ah, okay. I get it.
early,
Mm.
then everything I think is possible when you have support. That's the
Yeah,
basic
true.
thing.
Yeah, your
Um,
support system, if it's there, everything just falls into
yes,
place.
it's
Wow. So
easy
we've,
to handle things. Yes,
yes, it's
not as
easier.
if
Not
there will be
like,
problems. Yes,
yes, not like everything is just sweet, 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 but it's
yes.
easier to, fully loaded. Dr. Devon Bailey. Yeah, she's fully loaded. I get
Thank
that.
you,
Every
Jane.
Everyone, please put your hands together wherever you are
Thank
and say
God.
thank you to our doctor.
Thank
Thank you
you.
to your husband for releasing you tonight. Our
I'll
great, our
tell him.
appreciation to him and the kids.
Yes,
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. I hope we can bring you
thank you.
back again
With
if
all
you allow us.
pleasure, anytime.
Okay, okay. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. So we would
Thank you
allow you
too.
go if it's okay.
All
We would
right.
allow you go.
I
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
appreciate.
We'll write you.
Bye.
I will call you.
All right.
Bye,
Enjoy the
ma'am.
rest of the year.
You
Bye.
too. Bye. Wow, this was a very, very informative session with our doctor. Thank you guys so much for your time. So it's been a lovely time hanging out with you guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your touch of hi. Good evening, brother. Good evening. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, Dr. Nevan Bello. It was such a great honor. I love her spirit. I love her. I love her ministry. Oh my God, I just remembered the question I wanted to ask her about her songs, about her the kind of song she does. Oh my God. I pray she comes back again. There's a lot of questions I want to ask, but just to keep the time, guys, we have to respect the time and your time for being here. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for giving us your time. So we'll be leaving you now. Guys, go listen to my song. My EP is out on all social media platforms. Nevan, please go check it out. The title of the EP is Restored. See me won't forget I won't forget the title of my EP. Restored, okay? It's on all platforms, everywhere, on iTunes, everywhere, okay? Awesome Time Network. Yeah. Okay, brother. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Please share the video. It's really, really insightful. It's really informative. Very, very, yeah, it's a lovely video you want to watch. This is really important for all musicians world over. As much as you can, please help share and follow her page, follow her Instagram page, Facebook page. I think, yeah. EP is out. I'm owing you. You know, say I tell you that time now how far it will be now. So I know how it's gonna be for you. I know the area where we did, so I know how it is. So yes, you owe me. So welcome, sis. You're doing just great. Thank you so much. So the EP is out. The title of the song we're promoting now is Emmanuel, but I've got 5 songs on the EP, so you can go check your favorite out. And we're coming for the other songs later, but for now, Emmanuel is on board. So, guys, help me share the song and help to propagate the gospel of Jesus. Emmanuel is with us all the time, okay? So, do enjoy your night. Have a beautiful night, and the Lord bless you. Bye, guys. You're going to be singing the song very soon. I think it's already on my page. James, my Lord. I think the song is already on my page. Yeah. Okay, guys. Have a beautiful one. Bye.